Hi everyone, this is Tisch Aitken, and it is Tuesday, June 22nd, 2021, and I'm here to give a weekly update. We just had the summer solstice, and that took place on June 20th at 11:32 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And in the Northern Hemisphere, that is when the sun is at its maximum declination, and it is the longest day of the year, and it is the beginning of summer. In the Southern Hemisphere, it is when the sun is at its lowest point and is the beginning of winter. The sun stops, and we honor what the next few months bring for all of us. And in the solstice chart, the ascendant is Aquarius rising, and we are in the new age of Aquarius. So both Saturn and Uranus are the rulers of this chart. Uranus is the modern ruler of brilliance and innovation, chaos and groups and networking. And Saturn is the ancient ruler of structure and anchoring our goals. And I feel through community and technology, whether we like it or not, technology is something we're all going to have to work with more and more in the age of Aquarius. And in the solstice chart, Jupiter stationed retrograde earlier that day at 11:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 2 degrees and 11 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. We feel the station of an outer planet 5 days before and 5 days after. Jupiter rules in ancient astrology. It's expanding through connecting to source, through connecting to your intuition and your empathy and your sympathy and your imagination. It's surrendering in a sense, because Pisces is really about restoring your energy and getting rest, and not always just listening to the practical and linear facts, but more really listening to your inner wisdom and your intuition and expanding through selfless love. But this is a very hazy, foggy energy, because Neptune, which is the modern ruler of Pisces, stations retrograde on Friday, June 25th at 3:21 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it retrogrades at 23 degrees of the mutable water sign of Pisces. We're feeling that build up now because we feel it 5 days before, and we'll feel it 5 days after. That could uncover deception potentially in our own lives or on the world stage. It can feel very dreamy. Some people are saying they're not sleeping enough and they're having trouble sleeping, but Neptune rules dreams. A lot of people are going to need to rest and get more sleep, and that's a way to really process all of these messages. Mercury stationed direct today at 6 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 16 degrees of the mutable air sign of Gemini. And Mercury was a key player in the eclipse season, which really ends this week, because we have a full moon on June 24th that takes place at 2:40 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 3 degrees and 28 minutes of the cardinal earth sign of Capricorn. And this full moon sets off where the solar eclipse was on December 26th of 2019. What were you working with at the end of December and into early 2020? Well, all of us were dealing with the beginning stages of this pandemic. And in the solstice chart, Venus is at 22 degrees of Cancer and sets off where the Saturn-Pluto conjunction was last year that changed the structures of the world. And in this full moon chart, I think it's really about also releasing the restrictions that disable or compromise our being able to tapping into magic and dreams, and letting go of some of the of the structures in order to manifest through things that may seem tenuous, that may seem less grounded. But sometimes with magic and with really innovating, you have to live in chaos and uncertainty. And that sometimes is when you take a leap of faith, when magical things happen. And that's kind of where we all are right now. And so on June 23rd, the sun trines Jupiter at 6:11 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that helps for all of us to tap into the optimism and to have faith as we manifest. At 7:39 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Venus opposes Pluto. That can bring breakups and endings. Venus is in the sign of Cancer, opposing Pluto, so that could be definitely some power struggles. And then let's see here. And then we have Venus entering the fixed fire sign of Leo on June 26th at 12:37 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And it'll be there until July 21st. And that's a fun, fiery, sexy placement of Venus for all of us to have fun and be creative. And, you know, I think that Pisces is probably the most creative of the water signs, and Leo is the most creative of the fire signs. So we've got a little fire in the sky. We've got some fixed energy, which we already do because Saturn squared Uranus last week at 13 degrees of the fixed signs, and so that's some growing pains we're all dealing with and frustration. But we're getting out of eclipse season. This full moon on June 24th officially sets it off. It also sets off and completes any stories we've been working with since the solar eclipse on December 26th. It's time to tap into Jupiter in Pisces and manifest your dream and not focus on the restrictions. I wish you a lot of luck. It's going to be a confusing and an emotional week. Neptune's fog is going to be very potent. Jupiter is, being very emotional, expanding the Neptunian energy as well. So manifest, meditate, and get rest. And take care.